Recite challenges of parents. And look at my highest score. So for today, it's going to agree. A strike, a spare, strike, 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 spare, spare, strike, spare. So yeah, 25. At least so good at bowling. The other scores. We got a 185 and a 182. 166. The last day was 160. Spare, 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 spare. Strike, spare, spare, spare. I use a 10 out. I actually use that. Well, I do have one, but it's a 13. I need a 10 out. All I have is a 13. I needed a 10 out. I needed to gain experience. That's I get balls and style. Get good at ball, it's bouncy. Just good at the style practice and focus. I position myself on the left side of the lane, so the ball moves to the right diagonal, and it's directly over the middle.
Welcome, everybody. Can we get a round of applause for Deb's beautiful prelude? Over the rainbow. Oh, welcome everyone to Unity Center of Des Moines. My name is Stevie Lang, and we are truly grateful that everyone showed up today for the message and some very special music by Sarah New. And I'm looking forward to that. Also, my son has made an appearance, and we are so very glad that he's able to join us from the road, his travels across the country, and is with us here today. Yeah. So,
Jason.
I know, you can just sit down.
Where's Jason?
We have some new people here today. If you would like to introduce yourself or be known as new, or if you haven't introduced yourself and would just like people to know who you are, I've got Daniel here with the mic. If you just want to raise your hand, we'd love to know who you are and just real briefly what brought you here.
My name is Bill Hook. It's my wife, Anita. We have heard about this for a long time and been wanting to come through our acquaintances. We both do QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique, and also my wife does other healing also beyond that. So we're very glad to be here and finally get to see what this is about.
Welcome, yay! Anyone else want to introduce? Yeah, go ahead.
My name is John, and I've come to probably 5 or 6 of the ecstatic dances here with Olive and Flick, Olive movement, and the ecstatic dance is like so nice. And we generally have a drum circle at the beginning, but not each and every time. And we're just called to be liberated from like worrying about what other people think about us and being nervous and just like be our authentic selves. And dance it up on the dance floor to some good music. Was here for a drum circle yesterday. Was Stacy O'Brien, and that went really well. That was probably my 8th drum circle here.
Nice.
And was doing drumming circle drum lessons with homeschool kids. 5 different times here?
Yeah, 6. I think a 6-week class.
Yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 different Mondays. Did the drum sessions, drum lessons, drum circles, what you like to call it, with the kids. And then at the last one, I decided, this lady, Deja, that comes in when I'm done, so she's doing somatic movement,
Yep.
which incorporates yoga poses, and you just move your body in ways that make you feel good, and she guides it very, very well. So after the last session with the kids, I decided I'm going to check out what Deja is doing when I'm done. And yeah, I've gone to like 4 more after that. They're very good. I recommend that. It's every Monday at 5:30.
Yes.
Yeah, every Monday here at 5:30.
Hey, welcome. And anyone who's more shy, if you, go ahead. Yes, please, Helen. Hi, Helen.
I'm Helen Reynolds. I was born in Kentucky, lived most of my life in Florida. So I just got to Des Moines And I'm looking forward to meeting some people who live here and being a part of this lovely fellowship.
Yay, so glad, yay, we're glad you're here. Okay, well, thank you. I know that was a little new, but it just felt like the right thing to do because we create this community together. Would not be the same with any one person missing. Unity Center of Des Moines is a diverse community that is committed to living a positive spiritual path. We welcome you just as you are and recognize each person is on their own unique spiritual journey. And if you're new and didn't notice as you came in, there are free hug buttons and mugs and little welcome packets. So if you want to know more about the Unity movement and kind of the basic principles and get connected with the Unity.org website, all that information's in there. And those free hug buttons, we've had people wear them out in the community and spread that love far and wide outside of the services here. So if that calls to you, grab a button and wear it out there. We'll begin with song. We've got Deb Jennings and Susan Kellogg, and we're going to start with the lyrics up on the screen, and we love it when you sing along.
I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. So much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me.
That is how it works, you know. Loving ourselves makes us be able to love other people better. So, thank you for that cute little ditty. Announcements, we've already had some announcements going on. Thank you for that and those introductions. I also wanted to call people's attention to tonight is Kirtan and the full moon gong meditation. Kirtan, contrary to what it accidentally said in the newsletter, starts at 5:15. There'll be a little circle, and that is Sanskrit chanting, just raising our voices together has a powerful and impactful impact on anyone who participates, and it also sends that positive energy out from this building to the surrounding areas. Then at 6:30 p.m. is the full moon gong meditation with Deb Jennings, or Sounds for the Soul by Deb Jennings. Next weekend, there's more. The spring equinox is upon us. So from here, the days will get longer and longer and longer, and there is going to be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. next Sunday, the great pyramid event. So Laura Jones comes in, brings her pyramid. Everyone who comes gets a chance to sit under it. And there's some kind of design that she's guided to create with all the crystal collection she has. It's a very powerful and connective time. So if that calls to you, please join us next Sunday on the 23rd. But that's not all that's happening that day. There's a potluck. And we would like you to bring your food to share on the 23rd to celebrate the arrival of spring. We're also got a special service with Deb Jennings. And so that's going to be a special treat. Read about that in the newsletter and watch our website at unitydesmoines.com.
What time is the potluck on the 23rd?
It's right after the service. So bring your goodies to when you come to the service and then enjoy afterwards. Yep, and there is a sign-up sheet in the back if you want to write down specifically what you're making, so we don't have like all desserts. But it usually works itself out. If we just set a date and people bring what they're called to bring, it usually all works out. So potluck next Sunday after the service, 5:23. There are a couple more posters for the Des Moines, or for the Unity Center Spirit Seeker Spirit that's coming up May 3rd. And there's also, the rest of the business card invites I have are back there. So if you got some places you can put those and share those, please do. There's also vendor applications. So if you offer some kind of service or product that supports people's spiritual well-being, please consider being a vendor here on May 3rd. It's from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And all that information is on there. You can just fill it out, turn it into me. The entrance fee is very reasonable. So we are here to connect like-minded people and get the word out of different modalities for healing. There's also in the back the sign-up sheet for Joy Hirschberg's email list. It was mentioned a while ago. She's spoken here before. She's been a Unity pastor for many years. If you would like to get connected with her, there is an email list back there that you can write your name down, and I will share those with her.
Her daily messages are amazing.
Yes, Randy, highly recommend. Randy in the sound booth. Could we also get a hand for Randy, who started giving some extra praise music for us? Oh yes, that's normal. I have a couple people that are going to share some things that are going on in the community very soon. First, Sarah will speak about a retreat she's got coming up, and then Molly, if you could come closer to the front, you're up next.
Hi everyone. Hello. My glasses fell apart this week. That's why I'm wearing sunglasses. I'm not just suddenly very cool.
Very
So I haven't been here in a long time because my mom developed kind of a rare infection this summer and I need my caregiver. So I've missed you all a lot and I'd love to be back today to share music with you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, bring it closer.
Closer?
Yes,
Okay.
there you go. And here I can hold it.
Oh,
No, you're not ready.
okay. It's too much permission.
Sorry.
So I'm doing a retreat here at Unity on May 10th. And it's a women's choral singing retreat. And basically what we're gonna do is fill up this room with people and we're gonna learn several choral songs together. And in the evening, we're gonna kind of perform them all for each other. And anybody who wants to do a solo or duet or kind of develop music with an ensemble gets to have a chance to do that. And this is a format that I've used before with a group called Rosalind Stone, who basically lived up on the stage for a few years, a decade or so ago. So anyway, the website is squashbuckle.org, and I've got a bunch of posters today. If anyone has a place that they can put them out and help me out with spreading the word, because it's going to be such a great event, and I just want as many people as we can fit in this room to come and experience it with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. And there are some brochures out in the atrium that I put up on that little shelf thing that's got the business cards. There's some brochures there. All right, I'd like to now invite Molly up, who you may or may not know is Hillary's daughter. So, take it away.
Can't tell.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'm a GMAT student in their criminal justice program, and with my victimology class, we are doing a service learning project and partnering with Dorothy's House, which is an organization, a nonprofit, that helps with the healing and rehabilitation of victims of human trafficking. And so we're doing a donation drive and a fundraiser, and Unity has agreed to host a box for us. We'll be collecting mostly grocery store gift cards are the biggest help, is what we've heard.
Yeah.
And just other basic things like toilet paper, paper towels, laundry soap, and dishwasher pods. And we're hoping to get the box out by April 1st. So that's when it should be here. We will also have like flyers and brochures with other information about human trafficking and Dorothy's House and all of that. But we're still working on that.
Okay.
So we do have a list in the back of the items that we'll be collecting if you guys just want to start thinking about it. Or let friends know, bring them in so they can learn stuff too. Yeah, well, that's what we're doing.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank
Yes.
you.
We definitely have people and want to be of service to the community, and that is a list of things that you could be on, like food stamps and food pantries and things like that, but those things like toilet paper, paper towel, soap, those are not covered by those services, so that's part of why that list is that list. So, all right. Any other announcements that I either didn't know or forgot about? Okay, I think we're ready to keep going. We're ready for our statement of faith. If we can say this all together, especially a shout out to people who might be new here. We talk about positive spirituality, and you'll hear words like divine, love, light, universe, spirit, name your thing. We also will talk about God and Jesus. And just know that we support whatever it is in your understanding. But in our statement of faith, we talk about the divine source. So let's all say it together. There is only one power active in my life and in the universe, the divine source of life and love. Next is the unity affirmation, and as we say this together, if you could really allow yourself to feel the oneness that connects us all. Unity of Des Moines is a radiating center of the divine light, mighty to attract its good and to radiate good to others. And with that spirit of goodness and oneness, I have a list of names to keep in our prayers and to send love and light to. I invite you to uncross your arms and your legs. Really sink into your chair, straighten your spine, and channel that frequency of love and light from the divine that is within you and through you as I read these names. Brittany, Zeke, Deja, Matt, Michael, Alexander, Eric, Jeannie, Carrie, Rob, Angie, Devin, Scott, Jess, Emma, Ashley, Maddie, Jody, Sarah and family, Holly, Jeanette Marie, Paul and Phyllis, Christina, Seal, and people with struggles we know nothing about. And go ahead and sink even further into your chairs as we go into a time of meditation. And bring your awareness to your hearts. And dwell on the peace, and the calm, and the love that is there. Next, bring your awareness to your breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And with your next breath, breathe in unconditional love for yourself. And breathe out gratitude for this time to love and nurture yourself. And you can say to yourself, I love and accept myself just as I am, right here, right now in this very moment. Allowing your true self, your authentic self to be expressed as you go throughout your day today. And continue to take nice, long, slow breaths. And I'm going to play a little bit of channeled music for you, and then we'll have a period of silence.
And as you gently bring your awareness back to this room, this beautiful space that we gather in each week, remember that any time that there is anything outside of yourself that feels uncomfortable or chaotic or creates anxiety or tension, you can come back to the love in your heart. Come home to your heart and let that love calm you and bring you into the peace. And then you can let that be shared with the world as you go about your day. And now the daily word for today is taken from Psalm 46:10, which says, "Be still and know that I am God." Sometimes, especially on my busiest days, I need to be quiet and step away for a few moments to simply be. I begin by finding a comfortable place. I feel my body relax, my breathing become regular and easy, and the busy stream of my thoughts slow as I open my mind and heart to the divine presence within me. I affirm, God is here. Relaxation deepens as I focus on this simple thought. Peace, love, wisdom, and understanding fill my awareness. In this timeless moment, there is no discord, there are no concerns. There is only God within and all around me. My heart's wisdom hears the words, I am with you always. Refreshed and renewed, I return to the activities of my day. My soul is at peace and my mind is clear. Inner harmony is restored. The affirmation that goes along with this, I'll say it once and then if we can all say it together, is this. In quietness, I am refreshed and renewed. In quietness, I am refreshed and renewed. And with that vibe, I would like to invite our speaker. No, we have another song. What am I saying? Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to have that talk. We have another song. Another one to sing along with about there is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love.
Yes, we get a round of applause for our music team. And thank you everyone who joined along in that. Now, I would like to invite our speaker, Michael Kolbeck, to the general area of the stage because he likes to move around. And he is going to talk about love what makes you, you. Please welcome Michael Kolbeck.
All right, thank you, everybody. It's been a few months, hasn't it, since I've been up here?
Yes.
I haven't spoken before since we put the chairs in the semi-circle here, so that's kind of interesting and new. Let's see how that plays out. So for most of you, there's handouts. So just like everything else, it's homework.
Woohoo!
So if you've got one next to you, if you've got one on your chair or whatnot, you can obviously use it to take notes on the back. But other than that, just ignore it. If you're like me, fold it up, put it in your pocket, and when you get home, you can do the homework then. Something just to help you a little bit on your own way. So, love what makes you you is the topic for today. This last Christmas, was out shopping with a friend, doing some Christmas shopping, went over here to Valley Junction, went into this place I'd never been in before, it's called Beans.
Ah, yes.
Right? It's a great shop.
Yeah.
Like, when I went in, I was like, oh, I didn't even know we had this kind of stuff in Des Moines. It reminded me of a place that you go to when you're on vacation.
Yeah.
And you're in a small town and you find kitschy little shops there. And you're like, oh, I wish our place had this, I wish Des Moines had this. Well, to me, that's what Beans was like. And so I was looking around at everything in there, found this great piece of art, and ended up buying this great piece of art that I put in my house. And then on the way out, I noticed another piece of art. And I stood there and I looked at it, and the words were so simple. Love what makes you, you. And I thought, oh, that's great. But I didn't end up buying it, and I commented to my friends how great this is. But I didn't end up buying it because I'd already spent quite a bit of money on some of the stuff that I already had. So I was like, all right, we went on our merry little way. And lo and behold, what do you know? Christmas time comes, and what do I get from my friend? But this right here, right? So this is what was hanging in Beans. Very simple. And I love the fact that it's just a piece of wood. It's a piece of wood, it's painted, has a little bit of mixed media stuff going on in there a little bit if you look at it closely. But it's such a simple and profound statement. If you stand there in my place and you just look at it, I find myself going through all of the things of like, boy, do I really love everything that makes me, me? See, there was a time when I definitely didn't. And I'm not actually going to say that I've arrived at that place either, where I love everything that makes me me. It's still a work in progress, right? As all of this is. But there was a time when I didn't quite love what made me me. In fact, I don't really even think I knew what made me me. So I've talked about it before. Back in 2017, I had just moved out on my own after the life I tried so hard to build had collapsed around me. The pattern had exposed itself enough in my life that I was like, something's going on here, I am basically in all of these different places and these different relationships, and yet there's the same pattern that keeps showing up in my life, which means there must be something here going on that is allowing this. I don't like the word attracting in this case. It probably fits. But I like to say there's something in me that's allowing this. And so I started really doing some inner work. I started looking at going like the pain that I had experienced up to that point was like, okay, I cannot do this anymore. I have got to figure something out. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I started looking around for answers, right? And I ended up in this program called, it was an ecstatic intimacy program. That was the name of the program. The leader's name is Joanna Shakti. Her stuff is still out there. She still does the program. I was in that program for a number of years. And I got into the program because what I really wanted was like ecstatic union, that romantic relationship type union. That's really all I was seeking. And when I got into her program, she had her program aligned into ecstatic authenticity was the first piece of it. I can't remember the second piece. It had something to do with others. And then the third piece was basically ecstatic union. I was trying to get all the way over there in ecstatic union without any of the previous pieces. So we started back at ecstatic authenticity, ecstatic intimacy. And that whole piece was on ecstatic authenticity. And so day after day, we did these daily questions, these daily worksheets, and we did on group calls and everything else that we would do. And it was all about looking at yourself. Well, what makes Michael Michael? And I'm like, this is a weird question, because I never really thought about that question before. I was so used to following rules and following things and what I was supposed to do. And I wasn't checking in with what Michael wanted. I was checking in with, like, if I do this, God, are you going to punish me for this? Because, yeah, it was just all rule-based things. And I was very externally focused on what anybody else or what somebody else wanted. That was always more important than what I wanted. So I was not considering or factoring myself in that situation. The truth is, what I come to find out as I did these exercises and worked through this is, yeah, sure, I had been showing up as a good person. Wasn't doing anything terrible or anything, but it was still highly dysfunctional when you get down to it, right? I had been showing up in ways that I had perceived and or that I was expected to show up. And most of those ways were driven by fear of rejection or fear of abandonment, right? Well, if I were to give my opinion on this, or my thoughts, or my feelings on this, then I might lose this relationship. And what I didn't really know at the time is subconsciously I needed this relationship or these different relationships that I had to give me any sense of value or any sense of worth. So that was a risk I wasn't necessarily willing to take. I was showing up in a very limited and a very restricted way. I certainly wasn't showing up as my full authentic self. And the more I learned in this program about authenticity, I was like scratching my head going, I kept saying to Joanna, the leader, like, you're telling me this is okay? She's like, yeah. I'm like, you're saying it's okay. I can think about myself. What does Michael want? That's okay. I'm not going to be struck down or anything. And she's like, I know it may feel like that, but yes, it's absolutely okay to think about what you want, what you desire, who Michael is. And then she went on to explain, and we began to learn about what authenticity is. See, I couldn't show up as my authentic self because there really wasn't much sense of self there to start with. Authenticity, what I learned, is simply being true to your own values, your own beliefs and behaviors, without trying to conform to some external expectation. It's being true to your own values, your own beliefs, your own expression, your own behaviors. And I had to give myself permission as I went through that first part of the program to do this, to step out. It sounds like a really weird thing, right? Well, how hard is that? But the simple fact is, I was so dialed into showing up a certain way and believing that it was bad to think about yourself, that was a huge gap to build a bridge to. And it was done through really, really, really small steps along the way. So one day at a time, through all of those questions and the coaching and everything else, I began to define who is Michael and what is authentic and true for me. I was 47 years old at the time. I'm 54 now. Am I 54? Yes, I'm 54. I'm 54 now. What's that?
I said, no, you're 42.
That's great, I'll take it. I was 47 years old at the time, and here I am, 47 years old, finally getting a sense of self and authenticity. I can laugh about it now. Back then, it was like, this is so messed up, right? So what did the program reveal to me about what makes Michael, Michael? And this is just a short list. Some of these things I already knew, but I kind of buried them. I wasn't going to let others see them. I'm free-spirited. I don't like rules. Rules to me are the walls and ceilings and floors, the boxes that you end up in. And all I want to do is burn those boxes down anymore. I'm a multidimensional being, an expression of the divine. I need solitude. That's the way I recharge. I love people, but I can also only take so much of people. If I don't have my solitude, then I will just burn out real quick. I am no one's savior but my own. This one was actually one of my favorite ones. Because my entire life I had been told, you're responsible for saving other people. You might be the only Jesus they ever see was one of the statements that was just drilled in, you know. Oh, there's no pressure there, right? So, I am no one's savior but my own. I like to express myself through music, through writing, through speaking. I like my hair to be long, even though I'm losing it little by little. I still like it long. We'll see how long that lasts. I am a mystic. I'm more interested in deeper truths, esoteric truths, hidden truths, metaphysical things, that type of thing, rather than a bunch of dogmatic rules that says this is the way you have to live and this is the way it is, absolutely. And you don't get to question it. To some, I'm the villain in the story. So this is another aspect of loving what makes you you. For the longest time, when I would see these little memes that says in somebody's story you're the villain, I would resist that. No, I'm not. Okay. I'm the good guy, you know? And I finally got to a place where I was like, well, wait a minute, if I peel all the layers back, if I peel back all of my dysfunctional things, and I look at, okay, the behavior of another person and how it impacted me. Yeah, it was painful in certain instances. But if I look at things from their perspective, when they're operating in survival mode as well, and from a highly dysfunctional place as well, then the things that I was doing, it may be as simple as putting a boundary down or saying no. And that individual's not used to that. Well, that's not the way that dynamic's always been. The hell do you think you're doing? Right? Suddenly, I'm the villain. And I got to a point where I was like, this villain thing, it took me a while, but I finally got to the point where I'm like, I could finally accept being the villain is just fine. If that's the way somebody needs to paint me, and from their perspective, that's probably their truth, then I can absolutely accept that. Because it doesn't actually change who I am and who I know myself to be. I am sovereign. I am sexual. We'll come back to that one in a minute. I am the light of the world. I'm not a victim, but I am empowered and I'm powerful. I love to teach, I love to create, I love martial arts. I love old kung fu movies where they talk like, oh, come to you. 10:30, Saturday, I'll touch you. Right? I love that stuff. Even at 54, I still love that stuff. I love learning about other perspectives and possibilities. I like to question things. I'm a bit sarcastic, stubborn at times. I can be judgmental. I'm a leader. I mess things up. But then when it comes to my awareness that I mess something up, I'll clean it up. That's that whole thing of, I'm not perfect, we're just imperfectly perfect. I love just being. I don't feel like I fit in with most people in society. If the crowd is all walking a single path, going somewhere, I'm generally going like, I'm going that way. You all have fun, I'm over here. I'm gonna make my own path over here. I'm a spiritual shaman, a healer. I am fully divine and fully human. So do you love what makes you you? Question is, does Michael love what makes Michael Michael? It's interesting because if I go back to this list, there's a few things on this list where this piece of I'm a mystic, I like esoteric things, right? Metaphysical things. I've always been like that to some extent. I've actually always been like that, but I hid it, buried it, whatever, because that stuff wasn't allowed. Then over the past, 8 years or so, I started getting into it more and more, and the more I got into it, the more I was like, yeah, this is absolutely me, this has always been me. But then I also wasn't really sharing it either. Because I felt like if I was sharing it, it's like, somebody's gonna get mad about that. If I state something like, it's very loving, it's very whatever, but if I state it, if I share it or whatever, I'm gonna get some pushback from people, and that did not feel good. I did not want to do that. I also did not want to make anybody feel like I was trying to deconstruct their belief system, because that would not be the intent. But I finally arrived at a place over the years, it took some time, where I started giving myself permission, I got some clarity to say, I'm not attacking anybody else's belief. I just want the freedom to be able to share my belief. Right? To come across something and go like, oh my God, I love that. Well, I'm going to share that. I'm going to put that out there. It doesn't mean I'm attacking somebody else and what their belief is and telling them that they're wrong in their belief. It's just like, I love this. This really resonates with me. And I'm going to put it out there because it might resonate with somebody else who's looking and who's seeking. So that's a piece of me where I finally and only recently really started to embrace and really started to take in. Now let's get back to this funny piece. I am sexual, right? Why is that a funny piece? Well, I'm 54 years old, like I just said, and I think that's an area that I am just now starting to love. So, most of it, this may be true for many people in here as well. Most of that area or aspect of my life has been ran on programs, right? And I'm not sure, because I don't have experience in this lifetime as a woman, that in this lifetime, as a male-bodied man, I know what we receive as part of our programming. And it's pretty messed up. So through old imprinted beliefs, old programs, some experiences, negative experiences early on in life as a kid and then up into my adult life, I kind of lived, I think, in dissociation from this part of myself. Even probably animosity with it. And it's only been recently where, probably within the last year or so, I've been diving a little bit more into that, excavating some things from the past that was like, oh, okay, this makes way more sense now that I have these pieces to connect the dots. And little by little being able to move into a place where, oh, wait a minute. Maybe these things that I've been told, oh, this is what it means to be a man in this realm and everything else, maybe these things aren't true. And then what if I show up in a different way? What if I start looking at this aspect of myself? It doesn't even have to include another. What if I just look at this aspect of myself and go, do I love this part of self? Because this part of self is part of what makes Michael Michael. And the interesting thing is, I think in part, I had to dissociate that part a little bit. There was a number of reasons, but it ran almost counterproductive to all the religious teachings that I had for things. So, how can you be a sexual being and express yourself in a sexual way and still be the light of the world? It was not taught that those two things were compatible, but I'm telling you, they actually are. Judging others. So this part shows up. I may not do it outwardly. Probably sometimes I do. But it shows up, and the typical situation, somebody cuts you off, and you're like, oh, what the hell, what are you doing? What's that person's problem? Your mind is quick to throw all these stories together, right? And the old me used to kind of just like, when I became aware of that, I would kind of berate myself. Like, oh my God, you're so stupid, dude. Why do you do that? Why do you keep doing that? That's the way I would talk to myself. Trying to get this judgmental part of me under control, which is highly counterproductive, right? Now what I do is, okay, I see you, yes, I know you think that this person cut us off, and I know you think there's some nefarious reason for why that happened. It's okay, let's just take a breath for a minute, right? There could be lots of other reasons. This person may have legitimately not even saw us. This person legitimately thought they had plenty of room. And obviously they did, because we didn't get in any accident or anything like that with them, right? This person's just thinking about things like we all do. They're thinking about their own life and what they need to do and this and that. 9.9 times out of 10, there's nothing nefarious going on there, right? But it doesn't help for me to be judgmental against the judgmental part of myself, or to scold or to shame that part of self. That part of self is only showing up and only exists because that's the part of self that received judgment from others throughout his life. And so now that part exists. And when something comes up, it says, oh, hey, I'm good at that. I know what judgment feels like because I've been judged so much myself, and I want to judge somebody else now, right? And it doesn't mean that part's bad. We just take that part, we just welcome it in, we embrace it, we say, I see you, it's all right. Bring them on into the fold, right? So before we get too far gone here, it's one thing to know what makes you you. That can include likes, dislikes, beliefs, values, strengths. It can include parts of self a little bit, like what I've talked about a little bit. Knowing what makes you you, that's part of knowing yourself, right? But then the other level of that is actually loving what makes you you. So we're going to do a little exercise here. We'll keep it short. Just do a nice deep breath. Just do this internally with yourself. Don't have to speak it out loud or anything like that. Just breathe deeply, and I want you to bring to mind one positive thing about yourself. And then ask yourself this question with that one positive thing. Do you love this aspect of you? Since it's a positive thing that came to mind, I'm assuming that there is some love there. And see if you can now embrace this aspect of self, this positive thing. See if you can now welcome that in and just embrace that even more. And then just kind of notice how that feels in your body. All right, now we're going to switch. We're going to let go of that positive thing for a moment. So just kind of clear your mind out. And I want you to think of one negative thing about yourself. And what is it that makes this a negative thing? Generally, it's our relationship with this thing. It's no different there than when I was speaking about the sexual aspect of myself. I've had to take time to start developing a new relationship with that piece of self. While you're looking at this negative thing, is this negative aspect like a part of self? Or is this a belief of some sort? If it's a part of self, see if you can visualize yourself saying to it, I see you. And then notice what you feel in your body. And if you can, see if you can welcome and embrace this part of self. And if you cannot, that's absolutely okay. That just means that's where you are at in a relationship with this part of self. And that's perfectly okay. And it also gives you a starting point to say, okay, maybe there's something there. And maybe I want to work on this relationship with this aspect of myself. If the negative thing that came up is a belief or a value, something that is not per se a part of self, then ask, is this supporting my life? If it is, great. But considering that it's a negative belief somehow that came up, or a negative value that came up, then maybe it's not supporting your life anymore. All beliefs and values and things like that that we hold, at one point, they supported us greatly. Right? They got us through whatever we needed to get through, to get us to the next phase in the path. Right? But then sometimes we have to assess those, and we have to let go of those things and say, this isn't really supporting me anymore. And I need to let it go. And with that, if it's a belief or a value, you can let it go. You can send it back to love. You can send it back to source. There's no judgment of it. If possible, you can thank it for what it did provide you in the past. And if not, that's okay too. But this letting go will allow the new to come in. And notice how we treat then parts of self versus something that's just a belief. With beliefs and values and different things like that, we have the option and we have the opportunity of saying, this doesn't support me anymore, I think I'm going to just move on to something else. And we can let that old thing go. With parts of self, I would argue that we always want to bring them in. Those are parts of self that are part of us. And it's not about eradicating them or letting them go. It's about embracing them and integrating them into our overall being. All right, now I want you to shake that out. So literally just shake your hand, shake your body a little bit. Right, you read it up on negative there. So I want you to take a second then now that you're shaking that off a little bit. I want you to go back to the positive thing that you had in your mind the first time. Just think about that positive thing real quick and then just breathe that in. Do you love what makes you you? Loving what makes you you. It means embracing and appreciating all the unique qualities, quirks, values, beliefs, parts of self that make you who you are, without trying to be someone else, without worrying about what someone else thinks about that part of you. It's about fully accepting, cherishing, and honoring your individuality, your unique expression of you. And I spoke with Randy just a little bit this morning. He asked me what I was speaking on. I said, well, what makes you you? And he said, oh, like the uniqueness of snowflakes. We're all snowflakes, right? That's right. We're all unique. We are all unique expressions of the divine and human form. We are no different than all of these snowflakes that are out there that we have in the wintertime that come. Every snowflake is unique. It is different. and it is valuable in its own right. And yet when you put each one of those unique snowflakes with all of the other snowflakes, you just get this massive amount of beauty, right? You take that walk in the snow, you feel the silence of the snow as the snow absorbs and muffles all of the sounds around you. You can feel that stillness. Teal Swan says the true spiritual practice is not to reach some enlightened state whereby these aspects that you have rejected of yourself no longer exist, but rather enlightenment is the profound state of radical loving and inclusion of those aspects of yourself that you and others are in rejection of. What does it mean to love yourself? To love what makes you you? Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It's not proud. It doesn't do dishonor. It's not self-seeking. Keeps no records of wrong. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres, right? Loving these different aspects of you is what makes you you. So begin by identifying, just accepting, just looking. Do I love all these different aspects of me, whether they're beliefs or whether they're parts of self? That Stevie kind of hit on this a little bit earlier. Matthew 22:39 says, love thy neighbor as thyself, right? But if you cannot love what makes you you, then how can you really love another for what makes them them? When you begin to really love what makes you you, it's so much easier to accept another because you've realized your own value and worth, and when you look at them, you see their own unique value and worth. So here is to each of you on your own path and the practice of loving what makes you you.
Yay. Thank you so much for that message. I really needed to hear it at this part of my life, and I think that there's others that it's true for too. If you would like to share your resources with Unity of Des Moines, now is your opportunity to do so. Your contributions help us keep the lights on, help us keep and cool the building, and have all these wonderful supportive events that we're able to have here. But whether your contributions are of a physical, financial, spiritual, or energetic level, we want to offer the following affirmations. I am infinitely abundant. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I thankfully acknowledge the divine source. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our special musician today, Sarah New. Take it away, Sarah.
And I just want to start by saying I'm so glad I got to talk after or sing after Michael today. You always have such good things to think about. I recommend getting your heart travel home to anyone. I recommend walking around making your living room. Swallow it down like a jagged little pill. It feels so good swimming in your stomach. Wait until the dust settles. You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. I recommend letting out you to anyone? I certainly do. I recommend sticking your foot in your mouth at any time. Feel free, roll it down. The caution blocks you from the wind. Hold it out to the rays. You wait and see when the smoke clears. You live, you learn, see if you went. You love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. Wear it out like a 3-year-old would do. Melt it down, you're gonna have to eventually anyway. The fire trucks are coming around and you live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. You breathe, you learn, you choke, you learn, you laugh, you learn, you lose, you learn, you break, you learn, you rest, you learn, you live, you learn. Sing the verse again. You live, you learn, you love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you bleed, you learn, you scream, you learn. Rendition of a Alanis Morissette song that is all your own when you perform it. So love what makes you you. Thank you for those reminders, Michael. I'd like to dedicate this offering to do the work of spirit and truth to the people of Unity of Des Moines, and we are grateful. Thank you. So now we're wrapping up our service. I invite everyone to stand up and follow along as Deb guides us through the universal greeting of peace from the Gandhi Foundation. And take it away, Deb.
I offer you peace.
I offer you peace.
I offer you love.
I offer you love.
I offer you friendship.
I offer you friendship.
I see your beauty.
I see your beauty.
I hear your needs.
I hear your needs.
I feel your feelings.
I feel your feelings.
My wisdom flows from the higher source.
My wisdom flows to the higher source.
I salute that source in you.
I salute that source in you.
Let us work together for unity and love.
Let us work together for unity and love.
All right, and now if I could get everyone to make one cohesive, huge circle around the room. And usually we hold hands. If you don't want to hold hands, just put your hands over your heart. And we will sing the universe, we'll sing the closing song, and afterwards, there are tons of refreshments in the community room. And as a reminder, next week, potluck.
We all
refreshments in the community room, healing hands and hugs in the back. I could use help making 2 rows of 6 chairs each in the back, and all the rest of the chairs up against the wall, with not stacked, but just a little bit away from the register. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you next week. Take care. Love yourself and love each other. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you.
So it's C-A-I-T-L-Y-N.
Oh my gosh, you're perfect. I love it.
You like my